So hello and welcome friends to this new video. So today today is an interesting day that finally something happened. It was a bit boring the last weeks, but finally something happened, and it was something that many people wish would not have happened. So let's take a look at the market and see what this dump means for the crypto market, where we are standing and what will happen in the coming months. And are we still in a bull market now or not? Let's find out. So we go to the weekly chart as always. The weekly chart is a good starting point, the long-term weekly chart. And we have the Bollinger Bands enabled, and we have the stochastic RSI enabled. And we can also activate our long-term trend line here. And so basically now a dump has happened. It wasn't surprising. However, the severity of the dump is more than we would have expected or more than we would have liked, because I was already not really optimistic when we were here. You remember in my last videos, when we got to this point here, shooting star candle, overbought stochastic RSI, I was already like, I don't know, I think we will revisit the middle Bollinger Band, right? So if you remember, I was drawing an arrow. I was saying, okay, we will revisit the middle Bollinger Band. And basically the middle Bollinger Band was the lower 50,000s. And I said in an extreme case, we could go to the higher 40,000, so about 48,000. But now we went to the lower 40,000, so 42,000. So what does this mean now? Is the bull market over? Is this it? Like bull market over, everything, despair everywhere, blood in the streets and so on? Let's try to find out if the bull market is still intact. So first of all, the Bollinger Bands are always an accurate thing that we can look at. If we compare it to this dump here, it dumped down to the lower Bollinger Band. So, and the lower Bollinger Band is coming up now. It is at 35,000 and closing in rapidly. So I personally think it cannot go much lower than now. We should only start worrying, like we can legitimately start worrying if we go below this level here. So 28,000. If we go below the level that was set in this dump here back in June 2021. So it was from May till July 2021 to be precise. If we go below this level, then we should start worrying. Then we have kind of a bear market situation. As long as we don't go below, I don't see any reason to freak out yet, okay? Sure, the chart doesn't look beautiful anymore. It doesn't look super amazing, but I will show you that we are still on track for an all-time high in mid-2022. I'm absolutely convinced of that Bitcoin will do the all-time high by the middle of next year. So what is happening? Why did this happen? First of all, well, as I said, if everyone expects that we will magically have all-time high by December because plan B says so, and because this is so obvious, and every 4 years, the famous 4-year cycle, and every 4 years, I mean, that's super clear, we will go to new all-time highs. If it were so easy, every idiot would be rich. Like every newbie entering the market, it would be super obvious, right? I just buy and hold and hey, I'm rich, like because 4-year cycle. But the market never wants you to, the market doesn't want to make it easy for you. The market want to make it as difficult as possible psychologically for every single market participant. That's how this market works. And I've witnessed that only 2 things are correct about Bitcoin. In all the years I've been dealing with Bitcoin now and the crypto market in general, I found there are only 2 things that can be said with 100% certainty, in my opinion. The first thing is long term, so we are speaking 5 years plus, 3, 4, 5 years plus, Bitcoin will be higher than it is now. That is number one. In 5 years, plus minus, Bitcoin will be a lot higher than now. So long term, Bitcoin is rising because it is by nature a deflationary asset. That is number one. Number two, what Bitcoin always will be doing, it will cause the maximum pain for every market participant, and it will do stuff that no one is expecting. So basically, it will do the opposite of what most people are thinking. That is the second big truth I discovered about Bitcoin. And these are the only two rules that I found are working all the time, every time for Bitcoin. Everything else is just pure speculation and assumptions. Even these long-term models, the Plan B stock to flow model, this long-term model here with this logarithmic regression, these are all just models, nothing more. The only two things that work long-term is Bitcoin will be higher than now in the far future, and it will always surprise us and do the opposite of what everyone is expecting. These are the only two truths of the crypto market. Okay, that's my observation, but I think this is how the market works. So basically now, because every newbie, like everyone who entered the market, like, oh, this is so clear, we will have all-time high in December, like 100% confirmed, right? And I was always skeptical about that notion. I was always skeptical. I was like, this would be too easy. Bitcoin doesn't want to make it easy for us. Coins do not want to make it easy for us. So let's have a look now at some charts and like what we can draw now. Can we draw something nice? So let's deactivate the long-term chart for a while. Let's deactivate the Bollinger Band. So what I think, okay, we can see, okay, first of all, it didn't make a lower low, right? So this dump went to 42,000 and the last low was at 39,500. So this is good because this is not a new low, okay? It is not a lower low, which is already good. Then I connect the weekly closing candles here, and we can see that this would even go back to around this area in November 2020. Okay, so we can draw some kind of a support line. It's not super good. I admit it's not a super awesome support line, but we could imagine something like this. And then we connect the upper boundaries and we can see that we get some kind of structure like this here, which we could interpret however we want as kind of a triangle structure where Bitcoin is basically converging towards a certain price. And we know that such triangle structures normally always end in a huge move to the upside or to the downside. I think this move will end in a huge move to the upside. So basically, we are wobbling around here, and then at some point in January or February, that time frame, we will continue pumping. And the thing is here also, now basically our last overlay we drew is not super valid anymore, right? I was saying like we have a situation similar to here. We are kind of like where we were in August 2020. I was doing that overlay here, right? So you remember I was doing that overlay, which would have perfectly fit my assumption that basically we would go to the middle Bollinger Band and then we would start rising again in January and get the top somewhere in the time frame from March to July 2022. Even the height would also fit because we always use the Fibonacci extensions. So the Fibonacci extensions are a good estimate to try to find out where the Bitcoin top will be, right? So the Fibonacci extension is also quite in line with the height of this top. Because basically I think that the long-term channel will be broken to the upside because of super high inflation, which basically is something that happened, which the model, in my opinion, does not account for. So this model, I think, is now too conservative because of the crazy inflation that happened, which nobody expected due to the COVID crisis. So basically now, this thing here, which we had before, is not valid anymore, okay? It is not valid anymore. But what could be valid? Where could we be where we had something similar, an unexpectedly brutal crash that served perfectly as a market shakeout? Let's try to look where we could find something like this. And indeed, the COVID crash itself turns out has quite some similarities with the situation we are in right now. So let's make an overlay like this here. We overlay it here. And we see, okay, the COVID crash was of course even more insane. But the COVID crash also perfectly served as capitulation before a pump. That's something that Bitcoin really loves to do. It shakes out weak hands. Look at this here, it's crazy. It dropped from 10,500 to 3,900 in February 2020, early March 2020, and then afterwards immediately rally. Like immediately rally. And if we overlay this structure now where we are now, we could get a similar situation, although I doubt that we would dump to below 28,000. I doubt it, because it was really back then a black swan event, a strong anomaly, and this here is not as strong as it was back then. So basically I think we will stabilize now around this area here, so around the lower 40,000s, then slowly go upwards again, and then basically at some point we will rise. However, we can see that this would be far too late. We would get a top in December 2022, which would be, in my opinion, insanely late, because we estimated in one of the last videos, I don't remember, that the cycles are lengthening. Yes, the cycles are getting longer, but only by a factor of 1.43 as compared to the previous cycle. We calculated that doing some assumptions. I put the link to my trading view chart in the description where I explain it again in detail. So basically, by that logic, the top of Bitcoin should not be later than June 2022. It should not be later than June 2022. So what we can do now is basically we make this here so that it would fit with a top in June 2022, and we make the whole thing just smaller, right? We make it smaller so that it fits our June 2022 theory. And lo and behold, suddenly, basically the whole structure would fit from the depth of the dump, would perfectly overlap from what is happening here, right? So basically it would fit perfectly at over 200,000. We cannot be sure how high it will go. Of course, I can stretch it, I can stretch it if I want it to go higher, but we said that the full Fibonacci extension is around 290,000 plus minus. So a top around this region would fit perfectly well. And we can see that if we make this overlay here from the COVID crash in early 2020, we overlay it with this structure. Basically, it would show all the hallmarks of what Bitcoin really loves to do. A brutal shakeout as a preparation for the big pump, for the final pump. Because Bitcoin likes to shake out the weak hands. A rally can only occur when there aren't any weak hands selling like crazy every time when we get a small correction. We need only strong hands in a rally, because those are the crazy persons that don't sell anything, and then you have more buyers than sellers. So that's how a rally actually works. So I think that this is the situation we are in right now. We got a brutal shakeout. It will rebound. We will stay around the 40,000, 50,000 level for a while, then creep up to maybe 60 to the mid 60,000s in January, February, and then it will start for real in March 2022, and then it will go very fast in 3 months from basically 70,000 to around 290,000 in the span of 3 months. That sounds unbelievable right now. It sounds a bit crazy, to be sure, but that's my current picture. If it changes, I will of course make updates. What is now a big reason why I think that this bull market isn't over? Like, you might say, okay, where's the proof that the bull market isn't over? ETH, BTC, okay? Ethereum for me is the proof that this bull market is not over. I said last time, or one of the last videos, that ETH is doing an insane bull flag here with regards to BTC. So the Ethereum chart with regards to BTC makes this insane bull flag, and what do we see, friends? It is really already breaking up to the upside. Ethereum is pumping and wants to make new local highs. So this is already the highest it has ever been since May 2018. Remember that, that's crazy. That's like the highest in 3.5 years, and it is pumping despite Bitcoin falling. So Ethereum is pumping like crazy, and if Ethereum is pumping like crazy, then the bull market is not over, because Ethereum just does not pump by accident now. This is all happening because the bull market is still continuing, and if the number 2 altcoin now pumps with regard to Bitcoin, that is a very bullish sign, and that is why I think this bull market is certainly not over, because this would not happen ever in a bear market. Okay, this would not happen like this in a bear market. Forget it. If we look at last bear markets, this did never happen. It's only this kind of crazy pumping behavior, if you look back, only happened in bull markets. In bear markets, ETH, BTC went only down. Look at this. It went basically down with a few smaller rebounds from the top in January 2018. Went all the way down to September 2019. Just all the way down. So this here, for me, is confirmation that we are still continuing to pump. And this is quite interesting because the market cap of Ethereum, if you look at the market cap of Ethereum, it is crazy high. 461 million as compared to 882 million. Are you kidding me? This means basically that the Bitcoin dominance, if we look at the Bitcoin dominance, it is crazy low. And if we look at the percentage of Ethereum, Ethereum has 19.89% of the total market cap of all altcoins, and Bitcoin 42.22%. So Ethereum is pumping and is getting very near to the market cap of Bitcoin. It is now basically at around 50% or a bit over 50% of the market cap of Bitcoin, which is pretty insane. So will a flippening happen? Everyone is always talking about the flippening with Ethereum. I don't think it will happen, or if it will happen, it will be like very, very short, like for maybe a few days or a week, maybe, that the market cap of Ethereum might overpass Bitcoin for a very brief moment, like a snapshot, basically. But then Bitcoin will come back, will strike back, and will pump like crazy, and then Ethereum will drop again with regard to Bitcoin. That's how I imagine it happening. But you see, the fact that Ethereum is pumping like crazy means this bull market is not over. So this is my picture now. We have a massive shakeout, like a mini, you could see or think about it as a mini COVID shakeout event. And basically now we will rebound, crawl up again to the 60,000s, stay in that area for 1 or 2 months, and then we get the final push towards 300,000 by June 2022. That is my current picture, and if that should change, I will make updates. But I'm not worried about this dump, not in the slightest. For me, it was clear that something would happen that no one is expecting, because it would have been too easy otherwise. And also, it's exciting, right? Come on, we don't want it to be boring. Everything that happens is always made such that basically it causes much psychological pain for every market participant. But in the end, if you have strong hands, if you are like super disciplined and don't pay too much attention to these events, then you will brutally win in the end. And that's why only a small percentage of people make huge gains with crypto, because 99% of people cannot stomach this crazy stuff happening. They cannot stomach it and they want fast gains, get rich quick and so on. So that's a difficult market, and 99% of the reason why some people are successful in this market has only to do with psychology. It's like, it's market psychology. It's not like super genius. You can have a genius, you can have a guy like Einstein or someone with an IQ of 160 plus, still not making it in this market, still freaking out because he doesn't have like the discipline and willpower and strong psychology necessary to be successful in this market. So intelligence is only one part of the medal, like one part of the formula, or however you might call it, of the picture. The other part is like, the very big part is psychology and being able to just hold through these brutal corrections. So then we are still on track, in my opinion. Everything is still looking fine. I think we will rebound now, and I will make another video when something interesting happens. I'm not uploading so often, I'm sorry about that. Other crypto channels are uploading 2 videos per day, 3 videos per day. I find that pretty damn ridiculous. So every time like something minor happens, it's like, wow, huge things happening. This changes everything. Wow, this is crazy. Come on. I mean, this is childish. Like every 1% move or 0.5% move, I should make a video about it. I will make videos every time when something interesting happens, and I will normally try to do 1 video per week, and I will certainly do videos all the way up to the all-time high of Bitcoin, and even later into the bear market, to say, okay guys, it's over now, we are entering the bear market territory. If you have any coins left, I just tell you what I would do, or what I do actually. I would say, okay, I have sold all my coins now. I think the bear market is coming. So I will accompany all the way up into the bear market now. So don't worry, I will still be here all the time, even though I will not do like those stupid daily update videos. It's like, it's exaggerated every time. Like, oh, this changes everything. Bitcoin has pumped like by 0.5%, or XRP has dumped by 5%. Crazy move. No. I will just do like the big picture stuff, you know. I'm the person for the big picture stuff. So friends, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. One last thing, if you can edit videos, if you are good with editing, please contact me with the email address given on the main page of this YouTube channel, because I have 2 other YouTube channels now and they require a lot of my time and attention, and I just cannot edit everything all the time. So if I would find someone, or if you would be interested and would help me edit these videos, I would be very thankful. So basically then I might be able to upload more videos, as basically, yeah, I could just make more videos, and that would be quite beneficial for this channel. So thank you very much, and have a nice day, and always stay optimistic, because this bull market, friends, is not over. In fact, it will melt faces very soon. Goodbye.